Hey, Justin.
Hey, Andros. Is that Andros, right?
It is me. It's been a second. Like all things in the COVID void, there's no like actual events. There's just kind of like a stream of things that happen. And then I blink, and then all of a sudden we're doing another end of the year episode. But there's this huge gap of time where we did nothing here on our podcast.
Well, I think we did. We just got caught in one of those time warps, and it is funny. I mean, I remember releasing the last episode thinking we were back. I think we even said we were back, but we weren't back because now it's 6 months later, 7 months later. I don't even know how long it's been, and we are finally getting back onto the track of the Marketing Geeks. And I don't know if we're on the track, but at least we're on this one-off bonus special year-end episode thing of a bob. Where we're going to be hitting on all kinds of different topics today, and I'm excited to be back. It feels good. It's good to connect with you, buddy, pal, guy, friend.
Yeah, man. This was like our main mode of like talking to one another is doing this podcast, and unfortunately, what happened behind the scenes is we were getting inundated with some really great guests, but there was also this kind of low-level feeling that you and I had covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, there was a lot of that get caught in those loops. Get caught in those loops of repetition. Like we had a lot of the same people coming on, the same topics. There were a lot of requests for the same kind of guests coming on. And at the same time, I was working with a client that was taking up a lot of my time, and I was committing a lot of energy to it. And once I finished up with that client, I was super burned out, and I had to take some time to myself to reacclimate to the world outside of business. So I did need a moment there. So there is something, there is truth to this thing of burnout where, man, I was like, it took me a while to really feel like motivated to want to kind of get back into doing like hardcore work and like hardcore hustle, whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah, the hustle is it can really wear on you. And I was also working on my novel, which is nearing completion, which I'm very, very happy about. It's actually coming out quite good.
Tentatively for 2042, I believe, right?
2042, maybe 2043, and then we'll see. That's my target date.
I'm gonna race you. I haven't started mine, but I'm gonna race you so you can get their novel out first.
I love being a writer. It's just all that paperwork I really can't stand.
You got to do one of those, like I remember watching like the Capote movie. You got to go like rent out a beach house and like lock yourself in that thing for a month or two, and then you come out and you got a novel. That's how it works.
Yeah, I can do like Jack Kerouac and just come in with a giant jar of speed and jazz, listen to jazz and take speed and finish the book in 2 weeks.
I assumed you had already tried that because that was the obvious answer. So I was trying to reach for some, far-reaching things, but you haven't tried that yet?
No, I appreciate my heart beating far too much. So we have decided though that it is at least we should at least get together and talk about the best things that we experienced all year, because it's been another really strange year again.
Yeah, it's been weird.
Yeah. Just keeps getting weirder. I'm in a perpetual David Lynch film. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to process this sometimes. Like
it has its moments, and then it has it goes a little too crazy at times. Those David Lynch movies. Yeah.
Precisely. I have a midget talking backwards in my living room. It's actually it's my son. Sorry.
I'm trying to remember, what was it in Inland Empire? Wasn't there like was it? I forget what were they dressed as in Inland Empire? Some of the characters, like they had the weird bunnies. Yeah, there was the weird bunny. Our bunnies talking to you. Yeah. Or Donnie Darko even bunnies.
Yeah.
That's when you know things go crazy. Is when the bunnies show up.
When you start talking to giant rabbits, and I'm close to it, man. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Andros Sturgeon here.
Justin Womack.
We are the Marketing Geeks.
Marketing Geeks.
Okay, so welcome, boys and girls, ladies and germs.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all genders welcome.
Yeah, and no matter what you want to call yourself, you can call me. I prefer to be called Captain Donkey Penis, so you can call me that. if you want.
You got it. You got it, Cap.
So anyway, tell me, sir, what have you been up to, and let's start by giving me an overview. Do you have like a list of your absolute favorite things of the year? Like what have you been up to?
Yeah.
Like,
So I would tell you this, my like focus, which I think was going to carry over into 2022, is crypto. Crypto is the big thing that I've been like focusing my time and energy on. Very bullish on crypto long term. I'm really interested in the creator economy, Web3, all these different concepts. I don't know if this is something called this is actually what my client that I was working with earlier this year got on this back in like maybe April-ish. Mm-hmm. There's a coin called rally.io or token, and it's this whole creator economy where people are, it's kind of like what's the thing where you're fundraising for your like podcast Patreon. It's kind of like Patreon but with cryptocurrency. And you can create your own like creator coin. And it's really interesting. And at first I thought it was kind of like, whatever, why would you do this? But then I started kind of like playing with it, investing in a few of these different creators, and people are like gating their content behind people that own so many coins and hold so many coins. They're using it in ways where you get rewards. So the longer you hold the coin, you're earning back, like you earn back Rally is the reward token. And it's really interesting. And I'm finding that I think there's going to be a lot more implementation and a lot more adoption of crypto in the creator space, especially coming next year, 2022, 2023 is going to be really, really big. So that's something I want to be following closely this year. And then I got into the world of DeFi. I discovered DeFi, which is crypto, but with like staking and farming and ways of creating passive income, because my investments suck, but if I can generate enough return on the yields, on the percentage yields back, I can offset some of those losses. And so, even though I picked the worst tokens, some of them, let's let it go long enough, I can at least get.
But it's not gambling. It's not that the thing that you just.
Oh, it's much worse than gambling. Gambling's regulated. Much worse.
Well, tell me. You need to tell me exactly what you are investing in, so I can avoid it, because your ability to choose the things that will definitely tank is uncanny. I think I still probably am, but I'm going long on a few of these. I mean, I really like a lot of these Binance chain tokens, which I don't know if that means anything to you or anyone listening, but things like Pancake Swap. I'm looking at this thing, Mars Ecosystem. Mars Ecosystem, for instance, Andros, has gone from, it was at $1.50 like a month ago, and it's at 30 cents now. I think it's down to 18 cents. Ooh.
So I mean, that was a smart one right there.
Taking and you invested like $5. What you invest?
Everything. The house, the mortgage,
the kid,
the kid.
Someone's going to come and repossess your child.
No, I still like the token, and I think because it has like a huge yields, maybe not. And then I really like Avalanche, and I like a lot of these gaming tokens. So I'm looking at a lot of these crypto gaming ones, but Avalanche is interesting to me. Engine Coin, Solana, those are the more like safe picks. And then there's some of these like ones that are handling what they call I forget what they call them now. They're not ICOs, but they're like initial coin offerings, but there is a different term that are just like, you invest in this Gala Games, for instance, you invest in that token, and then you have first access to all these games that get released. You can buy at like the intro rates, things like that. So there's a lot of interesting things happening. This gets jargony, but I'm very, very bullish and excited. And I think maybe I can make crypto work in 2022. Probably not, but I'm gonna be trying. I'm gonna be trying. And I'll tell you, I understand it at like exponentially more than I did a year ago.
Well, that's good news because you didn't hardly understood it at all. Then
I probably still don't, but still, it's exponential. When you don't understand much.
You bring up something really interesting because we're about to launch into all the content that we really loved this year. Obviously, the content that you loved was crypto, but as I'm nearing the completion of my book, I'm going to turn it into like an audio drama of some sort. So I know that I can make money from the audio book version of it. I can make money from the book version of it, but the idea of selling NFTs for both of those things or for other content, it's really exciting in a way, because it's like you can really just sell digital content to your super fans.
NFTs. So NFTs are non-fungible tokens, which probably means nothing also to most people, but it's NFTs are like, they're basically, if you ever did like trading cards or something like that, it's like a certificate of authenticity. I think that's the best way I can describe them. It's like a digital record of ownership of something, but with musicians, with book writers, authors, I think they could be complete game changers, because it's a way that you can publish a book or publish your music and get paid per download, essentially, without an agent, without somebody taking massive cuts of your money. And I don't think the tech is quite refined yet for this kind of like for music and for authors, but it's close and it's coming. And I think over time, this is definitely the way of the future that you're going to be seeing. They're going to disrupt iTunes. I mean, they're going to disrupt Spotify. I mean, in a lot of ways, or Spotify is going to be buying these companies and implementing the tech, those kind of things. So it's going to be interesting to watch. It's tough to predict, but I think NFTs are the future for creators.
Yeah, totally. So I know nothing about it. So hopefully, I can educate myself. I mean, I know I can educate myself. It's just
I have a long way to go too, but it is a rabbit hole of rabbit holes.
It's one of these things where it's kind of like, I know I could take time to do it, but I really like just learning all of that thing. I'd rather learn, I still am learning Dutch, so
yeah.
There you go.
Well, what about the metaverse? Let's just talk about the buzzword, the metaverse, which again is kind of, I tie that to like crypto gaming. There's it's basically like you're taking what do they call the massive multiplayer online MMO, whatever. Well,
you got to understand that the metaverse is a concept that actually has been around for quite some time. Facebook did not invent this. And it's the idea of this virtual world. But so there's actually several competing metaverses out there. Zuckerberg thinks that he's going to own it, but I have to tell you that if the metaverse has Mark Zuckerberg's fingerprints on it, I definitely will have nothing to do with it. Like I can't, I like if I died and went to hell, it would look exactly like the metaverse. And there would even be like a metaverse. Did you see the metaverse Zuckerberg show up? And he actually looks more human than Mark Zuckerberg himself. Which I think
he wouldn't look more human. He would be the same Mark Zuckerberg. He'd still be an Android robot alien.
It's, look, the whole online, the scope of online, everything is changing. I mean, if one thing has taught me anything this year, there was like 2020, which was, we can't rely on anything to like save us. There's no structures that can really help us out. And 2021 not only confirmed that, but was just kind of like, that car that you're strapped into that's running over the cliff, we're going to set it on fire and play Kenny G on the worst speakers imaginable while we're
on loop
driving
for the rest of your life.
While we're driving you over the cliff. But I did get a lot of pleasure. I read more books this year than I think I ever did. I think I read like 80 books.
Wow.
So among those, I'll just go over some highlights. Margaret Atwood, who wrote the Handmaid's Tale, she wrote a series of books called the Mad Adam trilogy, and the first one was Arx and Crake, which was really good. It was basically in the future, everything completely collapsed, and the only things that were kind of keeping society going were businesses that were now on these compounds. So if you worked for Apple, you actually lived in the highly secure Apple complex. I thought that idea was like really funny. But
isn't that what Nike does? No, they call it the highly secure Nike complex.
But people don't live there. But I just like the idea of like basically the business you work for. Not only do they give you insurance, but they give you private security. And,
I was talking about the sweatshops. The sweatshops, I think they do live there.
Yeah, pretty much. But I read a bunch of kind of dystopian end of the world type books. So the Mad Adam trilogy was one of them by Margaret Atwood. Highly recommended. Another one that I really loved was the Book of Coley, which was fantastic. It takes place like 1,000 years in the future after society has completely collapsed. And there's all this, there was a dangerous war. Nobody knows that much about it because all digital media, and information was lost. And so people would find these weapons, and if you can wield the weapon, you became like kind of higher up in the society. But so that was a really great series of books. The books of Coley were absolutely fantastic. I loved Ministry of the Future by Kim Stanley Robinson, which was basically a book about how to fix the world. Overall, the book itself, plot-wise, isn't that great, but I loved a lot of it, and some of the ideas in there were great. But my absolute favorite books of the year: Clara and the Sun by Kazu Ichiguro, who is a Japanese writer, about an AI that befriends a little girl. And in the future, they have these AI dolls instead of like companions. They're like companion dolls.
Oh, what kind of dolls?
And, like they're companions. They're just like,
are they more than friends? Are they more than friend dolls?
For the little kids, no, it's a little more innocent than that. But the story's told from the AI's point of view, and it was really, really wonderful. I read one of my favorite books of the year was Project Hail Mary by the guy who wrote The Martian. And that is a book that I cannot recommend enough. It was so much fun. They're definitely going to make a movie out of it. They have to.
What's the concept? What's like the general premise?
So the sun is going out, right? It's there's something up with the sun. They don't know why, but they find out that there is a solar system where there's these suns around this one particular sun that is also going dim, but this one sun is not. So they send a ship out to find out exactly why. And it's the scientist with 3 other companions. And when he gets there, something happened and his companions are all dead and he's the only one left alive. And when he gets there, he notices that there's another ship there that is not from Earth. And so he and the other person on this ship,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is an alien. It's like this spidery alien, but they start communicating and they have to learn each other's language. And it turns out they're both there for the same thing, to save their planets. And so they form this unlikely bond where they're trying to solve this problem with heavy science. And it was so good. It was absolutely so good. The other book that I loved was this came out, I think, last year or the year before, but I liked it anyway. Isabel Wilkerson wrote this book on called Caste, and Caste made me rethink the whole conversation around racism. That the conversation about racism isn't really about racism; it's about a caste system. And she basically shows the different caste systems that existed in modern history, including the one in India, the one in South Africa, the one in Nazi Germany, and the one in the United States, and how she broke it down. It's very, very eye-opening. And then Stephen King came out with a book called Billy Summers, which is about it's great. And it's not a horror book. It's a book about a hitman. So that was really good. And then the other book that left an impression on me was one called The Divine Spark by Graham Hancock. And it's actually a series of essays about psychedelics. And
it could be good. It could be interesting.
It was great. Anyway, it's a ton of other books, but those were the ones that really stood out. But if I had to choose one favorite book, I would definitely say Project Hail Mary. And that's funny.
I have a friend of mine that read the Project Hail Mary too, and he was telling me it was awesome. But yeah, you have to cast Matt Damon though. I mean, you got to bring him back from The Martian. You could basically just reuse the characters, pretend like, you get the Hollywood producers to claim it's the same guy, and then you can even use that same line, like, we have to science the shit out of this for the sun.
Pretty much. I think if I remember correctly, they actually hired Ryan Gosling to be
for The Martian. Or for this?
For the Project
they've already sold the right. Of course they have. It's probably already.
Yeah. Filming. Oh my God! You read this book and you're just like, by the end of it, you're like, this is a movie. There's no doubt. But anyway, if you get a chance to read that, I highly recommend that. So anyway, so what about you, man? What do you before we move on to other types of media? Is there anything that sticks out to you?
Well, for books, I mean, I think I bought a lot of books this year on Audible, and I got excited. I was going to read all these business books, and I just didn't come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in the I was hoarding digital books this year, but not reading them, which is, that's a bad pattern to get into.
Yeah.
I gotta break that hoarding digital books pattern. But I
as
mean,
long,
look,
you could be hoarding cats, man. You could be
that's
like,
true. It could be worse. Could be hoarding cats. I only got 2. I've kept myself to 2 cats.
Yeah.
Haven't had any new ones yet. But yeah, movies. We want to get into movies here. Talk about like your top pick. Like,
so last night, actually, I saw Encanto, which is the new Disney film. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And here's the thing, though, that's really interesting. So, the movies are done. I mean, Spider-Man, it crushed it at the theater, but the movies are over. It's not gonna. I'm so sad about that too, because I'm a huge fan of the movies. And you look at a movie like Encanto, which has music by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who did Hamilton, and the music to Moana. Very, very talented. He did the music for this. The movie is gorgeous. But this was a movie that Disney would have released in the theaters, and it would have been exclusive, and they just released it to streaming, and that's it. That's, everything's going to be streaming for them from now on. That's where they're putting all their focus. And I think with the disappointing box office returns and the fact that people are just not comfortable sitting in a room full of strangers who don't know how to behave, I think, with 4K TVs, like we have a 4K TV now, and it's not that big. It's only like 47 inches, but the thing is magnificent looking, I mean, it's,
I think, I've been following this a little bit here. So Spider-Man puts a little bit of a wrinkle in the death of theaters. It's going to delay it at least, and we still do have Avatar 2, and who knows what James Cameron could pull out of the hat. Maybe not. But the Spider-Man, okay. So it made $200 million opening weekend, which is roughly that's pre-pandemic success right there. Mm-hmm. And it doubled the highest grossing movie of 2021 by its second week, which was Black Widow was the number one until Spider-Man came out, which is another Marvel movie. So with that success, I just think that what you're going to see is you're going to see consolidation. I mean, I think a lot of these movies have no business being released in the theaters anymore if they're not, unless they're like these big budget blockbusters. Like I think they're going to be going straight to streaming, and you're going to be seeing. And I think I might have talked about this last year even, but I really think you're going to see consolidation where with bigger IMAX screens or more IMAX screens, more. Maybe even like some extra luxury with like air filtration and things like that to protect the guests, to make them feel more comfortable, further spreading out the seats. I don't know exactly, but I mean, I do think they're just going to go premium pricing, experiential for the movie theaters, and then everything else goes to streaming. And I think that's where we're going with all that.
Yeah. Well, my prediction,
I think death is not quite there because of Spider-Man's success.
Yeah, and I my prediction for last year, I think I predicted this, and I still hold true to this, is that eventually I could see Amazon or Disney buying a movie theater chain, mm-hmm. and basically your subscription for like €2 or $2 more a month will include a trip to the theater, like 4 trips per month. And
and that makes a lot of sense. And Amazon flirted with the idea, I believe, of buying AMC right? earlier before the giant before the
meme stock
the meme stock explosion of 2021, which we can we talked about that I think this year on the podcast, where I actually made money on one of those, GameStop. I made a bunch of money. I owned a ton of AMC, but I sold it before, of course, the big spike on that one. And
of course you did.
I could have made a lot of more money on AMC. And Dogecoin too. I mean, I look back and it was in 2020. At one point, I think I put in $200. I had put in, no, it was $20 of Doge. And if I held it through like the spike of this year, which was like in April or May, it would have been worth 80 grand or something like that. And it was off of like $20. But instead I sold it and made like $5 or $10. So
nice. Well, my favorite, it's interesting because my favorite movies of the year, I even as we speak, I think I went to the movie theaters once to see Bond, and Bond was like, and I ended up going again. The theaters are trying to gimmick people into the theaters, so they have a thing here called 4DX, and 4DX is basically like you get in the seats and they move, they like bounce around like a ride. which in actuality, it was like watching James Bond and having someone behind my seat just kicking
you
for like 2.5 hours.
They have that here too. They don't have it at my local one, but I think at in Thousand Oaks near where I live, they have a theater that has, they call it D-Box, I think they call it, but moving seats. And I saw one of the Jurassic Park movies with it, and I felt the exact same way you feel. Like it sounds like a great idea in theory, and then you go to it, and it's like, this is annoying.
Really it was definitely headache inducing. So no, thank you. But I did go see Bond. But most of the movies that I saw were streaming, and the top movies.
What do you think of Bond, real quick? Because I saw Bond.
You know, my overall thought on James Bond has a lot to do with more the matter of like, I'm not sure where this character fits anymore. Because when this character came out, it was in the height of the Cold War. Men, you know, were considered manly if they slapped women around and, you know, did their thing and beat guys up. You know, it was the toughest guy in the room. And the sensibilities, if you will, woke Hollywood, which I don't even like. I mean, I think that there are people who are ready to not see the same things that they've been seeing, and they want more inclusion in their movies. And some people don't care for that. I think killing James Bond off. Sorry, spoiler here, folks.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, well, whatever.
He might not be dead. He's probably alive.
Yeah, you know, look, I think that the character needs to die. I think that it's part of an old paradigm of, you know, what can they really do with this character now? I mean, my guess is when they bring him back, it's going to be like they're going to show him in his little academy and getting trained and going on his very first mission. They showed Bond going on his first mission in Casino Royale, but I feel that this character is past its prime. I'm not, you know, it's from a different era. And the other thing is that what kind of bad guys can you have anymore? Because the thing is that no matter what you do, you can't piss off China. So they're making movies for China, which means that the bad guy, like the last bad guy was, you know, this kind of nondescript cardboard cutout character who he was like Italian.
Sick. He was like a little bit sick looking and Italian.
Yeah, and he was like an Italian terrorist from.
Didn't really have a goal.
Like, yeah, there was nothing. There was nothing, and so I feel like they're trying to spruce up this corpse with the James Bond franchise.
I think the classic example of that though is I mean I do want to talk about Bond for a second, but Top Gun, where they had to. I don't know if they I forget if they digitally removed it or if they removed. I think they digitally removed the flag of Taiwan from Maverick's jacket to appease China.
That's right.
That and they still haven't even released that movie, which is interesting. That movie was supposed to come out in 2020,
and that's becoming a big problem because the Chinese audience are turning out to be very fickle, and the Chinese government, if there's like one thing wrong with the movie, then they're not going to release it. Do you remember when John Cessna was doing his publicity tour for the Suicide Squad, and he accidentally said something about the movie releasing in the country of Taiwan? And a few days later, there was a video of him speaking in fluent Chinese, which I thought was weird.
John Cena. John Cena. Yeah. Okay.
And what did I say?
Cessna.
Oh God.
John Cena. Yeah, the wrestling guy. Yeah.
And the video, it not only is he speaking Chinese, but it looks like there's someone with a shotgun just off screen, like holding it to his head.
He was like begging, and he looks like he's like begging, like, please forgive me.
Yeah, and they ended up not really putting that movie out anyway. So I feel like that also is kind of ruining film in a certain way. And I feel like
you definitely have to count out to China, China's whims. Now China for 2 years in a row has topped U.S. box office. I mean that's the first that's ever happened. So that kind of makes sense in that regard. People are looking at the almighty dollar. But I do want to talk about Bond because I agree with you that the Bond character, there's like nowhere else to take the Bond character. The only thing you can do is you could take him back to training camp or whatever, agent camp, and which I think it's already been done for the most part, and I think it's a bad idea. You could change the gender, you could change the race, and that I don't think there's anywhere to take that story. Like I think Bond needs a big break, or and I don't think you reimagine him. I think you just write new material. I think he's done. Like, I think you should just retire the character. There are times when you've made 25, 26 films, however many it's been, I mean, you can retire a character. I don't know where else to take him except to unless you just want to just keep rehashing the same stuff and printing money. But but that money printer is that returns are dropping every movie. It seems like
exactly, and ultimately the stories are not compelling. So. And it comes back to story. Although the movies, there was a couple of movies that I saw.
Did you see Suicide Squad? What do you think of Suicide Squad, real quick?
I didn't see it. It's
okay.
Some of these things I feel like they're almost like I know I would have kind of enjoyed it, but I saw like the first 15 minutes of it, and I was kind of like, like it didn't grab me, and so I was just kind of like, man, and I've been doing that enough lately with pretty much everything, including looking at the state of the world. So well,
I did really enjoy in Suicide Squad when they get to King Shark and you have Stallone voicing King Shark. It was pretty funny. There's one scene where he's looking at a bunch of fish and he's like, dumb friends, and that was my favorite part of the movie right there.
Well, there you go.
Dumb friends.
2 hours of my time. But a couple of movies did stick out. So I mentioned Encanto, which I really liked. I liked Harder They Fall in the sense of like I understand what they were trying to do, and there were the moments that were glorious were absolutely glorious, but there were some things in that movie. It's basically a blaxploitation spaghetti western, two genres that I love. I love blaxploitation films. I love spaghetti westerns.
Kind of like trying to kind of replicate like a Django Unchained kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of in that vein. I thought it was the performances were great. Regina King and Earlobe Elbow were in it. Idris Elba.
Earlobe. I've not even heard. When did this movie? Where was
on
this
Netflix?
Released?
It's on Netflix.
Okay, I haven't seen
it. It's fun. It's a fun movie, but some of the character motivations, like that script needed another polish because there were some character motivations in there that were like, why are you doing that? It makes no sense. But there were things in there that were absolutely fantastic. But not like oh my God, that's one of the best things that I've seen. Green Knight was probably one of the better movies I've seen all year.
Don't know that one either. Who was in that? Tell me about it.
That was a movie. Green Knight had what's his name in it? Basically, it's a story of the King Arthur's knight, known as the Green Knight, and the Green Knight was challenged by this knight that showed up one night and challenges the king and the Knights of the Round Table. David Lowry was the director, and he also wrote A Ghost Story and a few other Upstream Color, which was a very strange movie. But really weird. Upstream Color
is very odd, and The Ghost Story is pretty weird too. And I remember one of my friend's parents. They watched A Ghost Story, and they're like, "This was the worst movie we've ever seen." Now, I didn't feel the same way. I actually quite enjoyed it, but I could see how it's weird. It's not for everybody.
yeah, and so it's in that vein. It's more mood than anything else, but beautifully shot, beautifully done. But most of the things that I really enjoyed this year, as far as like movies go, were TV shows on streaming. And that was the other reason that I feel that movies are kind of going the way of the dodo, because I being able to curl up with a great show and watch like a story really unfold, that's pretty good.
Well, and I don't feel like I need to see things necessarily on the big screen also, because for me, these days, I'm not as into like I like action movies. I like big tentpole action movies, but I don't really care if I see it on the big screen or the small screen, because I'm more into like the story behind the action than I am into the actual action. So I could go either way. I mean, I'll still go to a movie theater to go see. I saw Spider-Man in the theater. I contributed to the $200 million capitalist explosion. And I quite enjoyed Spider-Man. Was quite a crowd pleaser, met expectations. They did a really good job with it. It wasn't the best movie ever made, but it was quite good.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go through a couple of these other ones that, like, Black Widow. I don't know if you saw it or not. Like, by the numbers,
I
the most
did.
like predictable, formulaic Marvel movie ever.
Nothing. It was just images flying around on a screen. There was like,
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was
it wasn't bad. Yeah. It wasn't unoffensive. But it was just, yeah. Meh.
How about, did you see Shang-Chi?
I did. And same. It was kind of like, meh.
A little bit better, but I think it was above Black Widow, but also pretty formulaic, pretty much. And then Eternals you did not see, you said.
Yeah, it's like Eternals and Matrix were the two movies that I was really, really excited for this year. Dune as well. When Dune came out, we were in lockdown, and by the time I went to go see, it was finally out. It was out of the theaters, and Matrix, it's kind of the disappointment factor. I've been disappointed enough with like just thinking about Star Wars and some of these other things.
Well, I just watched Matrix, and it came out last week as we're recording this, and I told you before the show about a 6 out of 10. It has moments. It has some interesting concepts introduced. I don't want to give spoilers. A lot of callbacks to the original, too many in my opinion, and some of the casting decisions are a bit questionable. I won't go any further than that to avoid spoilers. And a couple of the other ones, though, like I saw the new Ghostbusters movie, which I think was like 2/3 really good. And and then it got a little bit too trapped in its own like safe formulaic model. And it kind of was victim to that. And then there was, what else was this year? We saw Venom 2. My son loves Venom 2. He's too young to be watching it, but he's still watching it. And he loves it. Obsessed with Venom and Venom 2 and Carnage. And then Mortal Kombat, one of the first big HBO releases. It was considered a success. Absolutely horrible, absolutely horrendous of a movie.
Yeah, I think I've stepped in things better than that seems. So
that's about. I mean, those are the ones I remember. I'm sure I saw a bunch of other ones, but those are the big ones. But yeah, what do you got for TV there?
Well, TV, there was actually a number of things that really I thought was fantastic. 9 Perfect Strangers with Nicole Kidman about and Michael Shannon about a group of people that come together to this wellness retreat, and they're supposed to like do meditations, and they start all having these trippy experiences, and it turns out that she's microdosing them with LSD and mushrooms, and they start having these like big crazy like mind altering hallucinations. It was very well done. I think Aaron Sorkin even was behind it.
I've not heard of this one either. Where did you find this one?
This is on Prime. And and it's really, really great. I mean,
it's a TV show, you said too. So it's how many episodes are we talking here? How much investment of time?
I think it's like 8 to 10 episodes, and I think it's on Hulu in the States. It was on Prime here because they don't have Hulu here, but so a lot of that stuff. It's David E. Kelly. Sorry, David E. Kelly who did Ally McBeal, I think.
Yeah, okay. I was trying to remember what he did. I remember that name. I couldn't remember what he did. Ally McBeal, I didn't really watch, but David E. Kelly, that name stuck.
Yeah, so that was maybe it's on Prime. Anyway, it was really well done, and Iris and we want to open up a psychedelic wellness center at some point. So I think
that's the model. That's the model. You don't tell people, you don't tell people you're microdosing them. You just microdose.
Just microdose them, and then you get sued. That was
maybe you do, maybe you don't. You just hope that the microdosing changes their perspective on things and they don't sue you. That's all.
Brand new cherry flavor on Netflix was very weird and very
sounds cool. Like a Pepsi or a Coke.
It's a horror, like a body horror, like this weird like body horror type show. Recommended very highly. But probably the absolute best things that I've seen this year are in this order. I like the new Rick and Morty season, which I thought was very funny, probably one of the best ones yet. So big Rick and Morty fan. I loved Dope Sick with Michael Keaton. That was really awesome.
Was that from this year? I remember hearing about that, but was that this
just
year?
came out?
Okay.
Everybody's got to see it. It's basically about how Purdue Pharma gamed the system to put this really highly addictive drug onto the market. And not only did they destroy communities, but the way that they bribed people and paid people off and gave people jobs in the FDA and even like hired Rudy Giuliani to represent them. It's when you
easy, man, easy. We love Big Pharma now.
Well, you got to see like everyone. I highly recommend Dope Sick. Probably one of the best things I've seen all year, hands down. And then runners up, Lupin, which was really great, French crime drama. The guy,
haven't seen it.
Yeah, the lead guy. This he's really this charismatic, good looking guy. That's Iris's freebie. If she ever, her hall pass.
Okay, that's her guy.
The guy from Lupin. Yeah, that and Idris Elba. And Midnight Mass was really good. But the two things that I really loved the most was Centaur World, which is to me this generation's Yellow Submarine. It is.
Wait, centaurs are half man, half horse, or half.
Yeah,
what is the? Yeah. Explain the centaur to me.
Centaur. So the show is about. It starts off almost as like this anime where this young girl's riding this horse and fighting these demon creatures that are destroying her village, and she has this magic key she's supposed to bring to the general to open up the portal and stop the war. And her horse grabs the key and falls into this portal, and she ends up in this weird, like candy coated world that's completely different. Like the animation style is completely different.
Sounds like a typical Saturday.
Yeah, but the show is trippy as fuck. It's so like the show is so out there, and my kid and we loved it. We watched the
show about a centaur going into a magical world is trippy, really.
And it's a musical. Oh,
okay. Well,
yeah. On top of that, but I cannot recommend this show enough. It's so weird, and like there are moments in there where I'm like, what is this even? Is it even a kid's show? Is it like I don't even know.
What am I watching?
Yeah, I hope more stoners discover this thing because it's quite amazing.
I recently discovered that South Park released like made for TV movies over the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So there was the South Park post COVID, and then there's South Park post COVID, the return of COVID. So it's a part 1 and a part 2.
Did you see them? Are they good?
I did. I watched them. They're on Paramount Plus, and they have you can get a free month of Paramount Plus, or you can just go to torrent or whatever too, I'm sure. But you can get it. So you have to put a card down, but you can get an entire free month, and you can watch Paramount Plus. We watched Clifford the movie also because that was on Paramount Plus directly. That was for me, not for Jacob, not my 3-year-old. That was for me. I needed to watch Clifford, and but the South Park movies are really good. I mean, they're completely not for kids. So, but I found them to be really funny, and they were pretty on point. And you see like versions of these characters from the future where they're grown adults, and it's basically like Trey. You could just see that Trey Parker like wrote himself as Stan, and Matt Stone is Kyle, and it's so funny. You could just see that this is like their current versions of themselves. It's good. It's good.
I will definitely check it out. Well, the one show that I feel was one of the best of the year was the one that you and I both saw, Invincible. With so good.
I'd never heard of Invincible, the comic. I guess it was I think it was Image Comics, which I remember like they made Spawn and a bunch. There were a bunch of. I remember when Image was like in their heyday. I was collecting comics, so I knew about a lot of the big titles they had back then. But I missed Invincible for some reason. But I just stumbled across this show on Amazon. It just I think it was recommended on the main menu of my Amazon Fire Stick. So I'm like, I'll give it a shot. It's amazing. It is so well done. It's so good, so entertaining. Super. It's violent, but it's just so like the plot is incredible. It was just one of those things that was like the most pleasant unsuspecting surprise of the year for me was that show.
Yeah, it's incredibly well written, well crafted, and superhero content is getting a little stale. The Boys on Amazon Prime is one of the few exceptions to that, which if you haven't seen The Boys, it didn't make my list because there's not a new season this year, but The Boys is so good. It is so good.
I still have not seen that, so I need that. I need to see that. But again, I did. Invincible was it was its own thing. It was totally different. Loved it.
And so if you get a chance to see that, definitely. And then other kind of strange thing is I decided to start gaming again, which I avoided for many years. Because
crypto gaming. Come on, you're playing the crypto.
Yeah,
games,
well,
right?
I don't have the patience to sit through like learning crypto and being glued to my screen doing that. But I blame Epic Games because Epic Games gives out a new game every Thursday, and so I've amassed quite a collection because like you were telling me earlier that you were amassing audiobooks and not listening to them. I was amassing video games. So I got into this one game called Control, which was really good, and I really enjoyed it. And I just spent probably too much time playing that. And then
kind of a meta title. So I mean, called Control that
controls my brain because I'm obsessed with.
I like it.
But I loved it because it was a cross between like a science fiction movie, a David Lynch film, and just like
real life. That sounds like real life.
It felt like we're in real life.
It felt like 2021.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is kind of a hallucination. It was a really great game. And then
let me say, if anyone has not know who David Lynch is, go look him up and check out some of that guy's movies. They are interesting to say the least. This is the guy behind what are the big ones? Mulholland Drive. He made
Blue Velvet Heart,
the big one.
And
the original Dune. The original Dune.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, that one is a stain.
But the other game I really got into was No Man's Sky, which is a space exploration game where you start off on a planet and you have to fix your spaceship. And it's this open world game. They basically have like 1 billion different solar systems that you can go to and discover planets, and then you can run into other players. And sometimes you're flying along and you find like an abandoned space freighter. Then you go on it and it's like all destroyed and you're walking through it and you have to find like ancient technology. It's just pure open world. Incredibly fun because it really feeds into this thing I had since I was a little kid of wanting to explore the stars, and so it gives you that feeling of getting into a spaceship and just like going to other planets and discovering like new species. Cool. And it's very cool.
Open world games are interesting. I mean, I have a Nintendo Switch because that's just what I have, but I was playing an open world casino game. And I found myself more interested in walking around and harassing players by dancing in front of them or waving at them than playing the games.
Were they actual players, like real, like other real people. Players?
Yeah, it's it really is like an open world. I mean, there's like probably 50 people there. It's not that massive of a world, but it's pretty entertaining. I found myself more entertained by messing with people than by actually playing the actual game. So,
well, the one thing, and going back to the Matrix. They released this small video game for the Matrix with the Unreal Engine 5, which I've been looking into a lot. Now, one of the big innovations of the year that I feel is worth noting is the Unreal Engine, because if you've been watching any of the Disney shows, what they are no longer doing is shooting in front of a green screen and adding the effects later while the actors act like there's a giant invisible, squid monster chasing them. What they do now is they build part of the set, and then they have these screens that they project like these high definition images behind the actors, so the actors can actually see the effects. And the background imagery is run with a video game engine called Unreal 5, which is free, right? And so the Matrix released like a small open world game, which was like the first like Unreal Engine 5. If you can find it online. And I feel like we have finally crossed this threshold where the imagery is so good and so realistic. You can, like, especially with people, you can still tell that they're not real people, but the backgrounds, they're like photographic.
Oh, yeah.
And it's insane. And so as I'm writing my book, I'm also thinking no longer like, oh, this could be a movie or this could be a TV show, but how can I turn this into a video game, right? Because that's where the
people are getting there. I mean, they're getting better and better. Like the uncanny valley is still a thing, but they are getting there. And now, but I've never put an Oculus on my head. I haven't put any of the new, not since like 1995 when they had like $5 for 5 minutes of VR.
Yeah.
Have I put on a VR helmet? But and the reason is because everything I've seen online, the graphics are terrible. It looks horrible. It still looks horrible to me, the VR. Maybe they've improved. I haven't looked at it recently, but until they get like these graphics in the VR world, that's when things get crazy. And that's
it's here. Yeah,
it's here. Okay, maybe it's here now. I haven't been paying attention this year that much on that.
Yeah, because Unreal, which is run by Epic Games, they have their own VR set now, and so you can take this like photorealistic video game system and play it in VR. But as I've always said, until I could have sex with the non-playing characters, it doesn't mean anything to me.
At least 2 crypto tokens are building games or have active games on the Unreal Engine. One of them is called Cryo War. That one I had some tokens in, but I don't know. I haven't played it. I haven't even played it yet. And then I think there was another one I was reading about that it was built on the Unreal Engine, but it's just open source, though, right? It's not like that doesn't mean anything in terms of backing from Epic Games, I don't believe.
No, well, what it is you can build anything you want with the game engine, but if you sell it, then they get their cut of it.
Okay,
but,
so they're gonna get cut.
Yeah, but it's honestly like the graphics engine is so good and so photorealistic, and that's one of the things that I started drawing me into video games too, because as I started playing them, I realized like here you can have a story that's as good as any movie or any TV show, yet it's interactive, and the graphics now are so good that you can't even believe it. And the other innovations that I found, which are also really amazing, is now if you can't afford like a really high-end computer, you can actually go to NVIDIA website. They have a thing called NVIDIA Now, and you can run your games on their computers with their high-end graphics card and stream it, virtually to your
virtualization is the concept,
Yeah, so you could stream it to anything. You could stream it to your phone. You can stream it to your iPad. I think like, and that was kind of a big eye-opening thing for me as well, realizing that like we don't need to buy computers anymore. Like we could just.
People are taking that idea to crypto mining right now.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing right now is people are taking that idea right you're there to crypto mining, where they're able to mine using other people's they're basically leasing other people's machines. And running it without having to own the gigantic software is required to support that kind of a mechanism.
Yeah, so I really see the future of computing being more that we all just have terminals, and we don't buy like desktop systems or laptops anymore. There's no point in doing that.
Yeah.
And I can have like a quantum computer streaming content to me.
Yeah, well, this concept of virtualization was like it was introduced to me a few years ago. And I'm like, I didn't understand. Again, a lot of these things I just don't get. I mean, it takes. I'm just like, I don't have that. You have a better like foresight into the future of like where stuff is going, I think, than I do when I see things. I get introduced to a lot of these like ideas that become big later on. I just don't see it right away. But like virtualization, I saw, and people were showing me like virtual machines that were like replicating like old PCs, and it was like a way of like you could go do whatever you wanted, and you didn't have to risk getting a virus and stuff like that too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it was I didn't quite understand like what that meant, and now I'm starting to see like, wow, okay, so you could take like your crappy old computer and basically turn it into this massive system that could do like anything.
Yeah.
So,
well, not only that, because they don't have this yet, unfortunately, but I can see it happening. Like I have the Adobe Creative Suite, and when I make something. A video or something, sometimes the rendering can take an hour or longer, depending on how many effects are there. If I just want to like see how something flows, I got to render it out. And if I could outsource the rendering part of it to a supercomputer, I have to figure out how to upload it. Yeah. I mean, the thought of running like high-end editing software remotely, I could just log into someone's crappy computer and edit my project
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel like with a lot of my laptops too. Like I buy a laptop and I feel like I need, pretty basic functionality for 90% of stuff. But then if I want to run video editing or I want to run editing software, I have to get like 32 gigs of RAM to feel like really comfortable, or at least 16. And that gets much more expensive, and run a higher video card and things like that. But if you could just run more basic software and just outsource the video card, outsource the RAM to someone else's computer, that'd make things a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. So I see that coming down the pike now, and I think that we're on the cusp of like this major computer revolution.
And I didn't even think about like quantum computing, because I know, those are so limited. There's only like so many that exist in the world. But if you could tap into that, not that they're going to let us tap into that anytime soon, but that has limitless potential. And imagine how much crypto you could mine.
Imagine that. And then, but as far as like the biggest science breakthrough of the entire year, in fact, of the entire decade, in my opinion, happened just a few days ago. And that was the launching of the James Webb Telescope, which I think is so exciting. And for those of you who don't know, the James Webb Telescope is it's going to basically replace the Hubble. But the James Webb Telescope is to the Hubble what the iPhone 1 was to the new iPhone that just came out. It has all these cameras on it that are going to be able to see not only to the end of the universe, but we'll be able to see kind of the chemical composition of planets orbiting stars. So we'll be able to get an idea of if any of these have life on them, or if they're even able to maybe there's lights on some of these planets, which means there's might be life on them. So I think that's really amazing. It launched the other day. It's got a 6-month journey out. It's going to be out in the farthest parts of our solar system, not the farthest parts, but I think it's even past the moon. I'm not sure how far out it is, but it's going to take 6 months to get there. And if anything goes wrong with it, we can't repair it because it's too far out. Yep. But the images should start coming.
Can't we just send Bruce Willis or something?
Maybe.
He flies out with nukes. Never mind. He blows stuff up in space. He doesn't fix it. That's right.
I would love to send him out there just so he stops making terrible movies.
Maybe we could send Matt Damon. He's the one in The Martian. He handled that pretty well. So we could send him.
Or as he was called in Team America, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Starlink. I pre-ordered my Starlink in February 2021, and it was to be released. I pre-ordered my Starlink February 2021 for a summer 2021 release, and it's almost shipped. I got a notification that it's going to ship by January 6th, 2022. So my summer 2021 release is almost here. It's almost being shipped. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Isn't like cable faster than Starlink?
I've right now, my understanding is that cable is equivalent or faster. Starlink has capabilities that are not fully initiated yet. So I think I'm probably too soon on Starlink to really get a cool benefit. But I'm gonna be one of these beta testers. So it's supposed to be. It should be arriving mid-January. It's shipping by the 6th. Who knows? And that's if they actually stay true to their word this time. Remember, because I told you I pre-ordered for a summer 2021 release, and it's coming sometime in mid-January 2022.
So wrapping up our top things of 2021, one of the things that I loved this year was Iris and I started a podcast. So it's called the AIA podcast, AIIA, which stands for Andros, Iris, Andros. So we did our first 2 episodes, and we're going to record another one this week. So we're starting a podcast, but also you and I. Since the Marketing Geeks, we love the Marketing Geeks, but we also feel we're growing and we want to do something else interesting. We have another project that we're looking at starting.
Yeah, I'll let you introduce the project because you're the creative one behind it. But it's gonna be interesting, and my intention is to keep the Marketing Geeks running at a probably at like a once to twice a month going forward is kind of like the thought process, and
because
kind
there's
of
still news that we want to cover, and we're still both in marketing. We still want to talk about tips and tricks, things that we've discovered.
I mean, and it's going to be, we're going to be covering marketing news, some marketing innovations, and then a lot of what we also cover is just because this is whatever, we just like to talk.
But and again, it's mostly we're doing this for ourselves because we're buddies, and we're halfway across the world.
And if you get anything out of it, then more power to you. My mom's a big fan of the show, by the way. My mom she's become an avid listener, so she's gone back. I think she's listened to every episode or something.
Are you kidding me?
I'm like, all of them. Oh God.
Oh God. Now she knows you do psychedelics. Hi, Mom. So the show that we're planning on doing, we're thinking about conspiracy theories, but not the conspiracy like oh my God, here's another rabbit hole. But one thing that I've noticed, I've seen these conspiracy theories come and go, and back in the day, a conspiracy theory was the guy in the van with stuff painted all over it, handing out flyers on the corner. And, every once in a while, maybe you see some doe-eyed kid who'd hand out flyers with him. And that was it. The one crazy guy in town.
Or the schizophrenic homeless guy on the street.
Yeah. And now Facebook has made that schizophrenia an equal opportunity destroyer of mental wellness. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to not only spend time looking at the latest conspiracy theories and where they started, but looking at some of the bigger ones that are pervasive, like George Soros, for instance, or Bilderberg, and really like talk about not the history of the conspiracy, but the history of how they started, because you can actually track some of these back to
quite a long ways.
Yeah, exactly. In fact,
and generally speaking, there are nuggets of truth in every conspiracy, which makes them appealing, which makes them sustain themselves. So there's nuggets of things in there, and then over time, like a game of telephone back in that doesn't exist anymore. But in the 80s and 90s, whatever, before then, things change, things evolve, and they take a life of their own. And who knows what comes out of it after that?
Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing George Soros for the first. I mean, I've heard all these stories about George Soros from online and whatnot. I finally saw an interview with him, and he reminded me more of like Derek Zoolander than anything else.
Yeah, but the thing is that you can actually track back exactly to where these conspiracies started and how they started. Like the whole Seth Rich conspiracy, which was this intern that was working with Hillary Clinton. There's a really great podcast called Conspiracy Land that kind of tracks it and goes back to the early days of like where this actually started and the first people to actually talk about it and where they got their information. And so if you go back and actually track the information of where the conspiracy theory started, it's really fascinating to find out who was pushing it, why it was pushed, the reason that these particular conspiracy theories took off. So I think it would be fascinating from more of a journalistic standpoint to show, okay, here's the conspiracy theory, but let's see who started this and whose agenda it fits into, why it would work for them to push it along, right? So, because believe me, there's no shortage of these things. It's, it goes all the way back. And interestingly enough, you can track even the Illuminati back to a certain science fiction writer that was friends with my father. And they all hung out together. And there was this whole thing they did where they started this conspiracy theory about the Illuminati, and it just kind of took off. And again,
there have been secret societies over the years. Like those things have been confirmed. There are conspiracy facts that exist, like with the CIA declassification of things like MK Ultra, or some of their other strange happenings. So I mean, there is a crossover of truth and fiction, and all.
You don't even need to go that far. I'm telling you, watch the show Dope Sick, and it shows the conspiracy, and it's like it's right there. It's not like some crazy shadowy thing. It's like people got paid off for certain things to happen, and
there's Monsanto, there's conspiracies like back with them, and like all. I mean, so many.
This is what
a lot of them are just. They're not really conspiracies. They're just like political
corruption.
corruption. That explains a lot of this. It's just political corruption.
And that's the thing that drives me crazy, because people are like digging for like the deep state conspiracy. And it's like, you don't need to go that far, man. I mean, there are so many conspiracies that are pretty much well known and nobody's angry about them. It's like, what? So, but I'd also like
the CIA giving drugs to people unknowingly and like trying to control, and actually legitimately trying to control their minds is public knowledge now, and rarely mentioned, rarely talked about, rarely cared about. But it's kind of it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Although what is interesting is like I have some friends in the Black community who won't take the vaccine because they don't trust the government because of the Tuskegee experiments that happened, which I totally get. I totally understand that. But I mean
trust issues with Big Pharma. I mean, it's not like Big Pharma has been like this upstanding voice in our society. So I mean,
no. So anyway, we want to cover some of this stuff, but we're still putting that together. But the tentative title is Down the Rabbit Hole. Yeah. So we take you down the rabbit hole and deconstruct it, and that is that is the plan. Hopefully it happens in 2022. I think it will. But listen to our other podcast, Iris and I, the AIA podcast, AIIA. And what about you,
Andros,
man?
Iris, Andros.
That's it. And what about you? What are your plans for 2022?
Nothing. This is it right here. My plans for 2022 for real though are a high emphasis on continuing to evolve in the crypto creator economy, Web3, blah 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 space, NFTs. I really want to find a way to make that work in my business, and to make that a central point. And so that's my focus. If I could figure that out, I know when we do these Marketing Geek episodes, we can document the journey. So
I am excited to hear all about it, man, because if anyone could get rich on crazy get rich quick schemes, I know it's you.
Thank you. I mean, I did make $30,000 on GameStop this year. So.
Woo, yeah. Like legit? Like you made that much money?
Yeah, on GameStop. What? On meme trading, the one that finally worked. That was the only one that I've ever had that really worked.
How come you didn't get on a plane and come visit me, motherfucker?
Because the world is weird right now. And
the world is definitely weird. And guess what? It's going to get a little bit weirder.
And now you're locked down again, right?
I'm again in lockdown, but luckily I have an awesome office and a beautiful wife, and I love my life. So I can't complain, man. Actually, if I'm going to be locked down, I'm in the best place to do it. So it's all good. But all right, buddy. So with that, I think that our 2021 best of wrap up is. I'm.
Wait! I was going to say before we completely finish. What are your thoughts about Avatar 2 and its chances of being competitive in the all-time box office grosses, or being relevant in society, or what are your thoughts on Avatar 2? Because that's the only thing I want to talk about for 2022, because it's the biggest event in the history of our world.
I think that if it's not if it's not like something that when I watch, I like my jaw is like open the whole time, and I'm like drooling onto my popcorn because it's so good. Then I think it's going to be like meh, because let us not forget that James Cameron also has been busy producing over the past few years. He produced.
Let us forget that.
Yeah. So after Alita, Battle Angel, and The Last Terminator, which he co-produced, he put his name on that thing.
He helped, or he approved the script on that one.
Yeah, he came up with help with the story.
I think he wrote the outline. I believe he wrote the outline of the script is what he did. But I'm not impressed by that one.
Yeah, and unless he was like scribbling it with his left hand while he was like.
I mean, which would be fine, except that he had 30 years to write it. Otherwise, it'd be fine.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of hope for anything.
30 years and 4 failed sequels or 3 failed sequels.
The things that I'm looking forward to in 2022 are like the Umbrella Academy, which was also really amazing.
I haven't seen season 2 yet. I still haven't seen season 2.
Oh yeah, Umbrella Academy is great.
So that was good. Season 2 is good still.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was even better. Yeah, and
How about Westworld? Have you seen season 3 or 3? They come out 4, I believe.
I saw half of season 3. It kind of didn't keep me engaged.
Okay, because I saw season
But
2, and that one lost me. It killed my. I was so into season 1. I loved it, and season 2
yeah,
was like pretty good, not great, not as good, not as good. And then I just didn't have the curiosity to see season 3 yet.
they could have lost easily 2 or 3 episodes a season and it would have been a lot better.
2 and 3 probably, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to. So I don't care about that as much, but I am looking forward to seeing Ozark on and the new Handmaid's Tale, which has been consistently great.
What about Twilight Batman? Twilight Batman, the Robert Pattinson in the role, the Batman.
Could go either way. It
looks really dark, and I think I did read somewhere that he's taking inspiration from Seven, like because the whole concept they have, like I guess the Riddler's the villain, but he's like a cross between like the Zodiac killer and the Jigsaw killer, and he's using like ciphers, so he's like his riddles are like ciphers now instead of riddles. So I mean, it looks really dark. I think it could, if it flops, it's going to be a huge black stain on the studio because of it's going to alienate kids like completely. I mean,
and Robert Pattinson looks totally emo. He looks like the emo. Like,
no, it's a weird look for the Bruce Wayne. Looks emo. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that that the entire year of 2022 will be about as big of a disappointment as 2021 was.
It's a good chance of that. I'd say it's a good chance.
Another blank void. Maybe I'll get to go to Burning Man. I got to go to Burning Man, and that was a weird experience.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Strange experience.
So real quick, how different was Burning Man in the age of COVID? Because you didn't go in 2020, but you went this year.
Yeah, it wasn't real Burning Man. It was a renegade Burning Man because the event was officially not held. Yeah. So it was people just showed up in the desert.
Unofficial,
and nobody was allowed to build anything. So it was like Burning Man that I bought off of Wish.
So it's like there's like no building anything, no drugs. You just come here.
Oh no, there was plenty of drugs. There was lots of drugs.
Of course there were.
But it was more it was more just like people, like I don't like, I just feel like it's that's another, I don't know what Burning Man's going to do, but we shall see. But
we shall see. The future is unwritten, but Andros already knows most of it. So
I do, and I can't tell you any of it because if I told you what's really about to happen, you guys would just like, need to
we'll tune into the conspiracy theory to find out.
Exactly.
Down the rabbit hole.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've heard it this far, man, I commend you. But and if you, we'd love to hear what you think. So you can always go to the Marketing Geeks page on LinkedIn and leave us a message. Let us know if you think we suck or
on Facebook. Yep. Facebook's not even a company anymore. It's Meta.
Yeah.
It's just a brand.
The company that shall not be named. But so with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm Andros Sturgeon.
And I'm Justin Womack.
We are still the Marketing Geeks.
Stay classy.
Marketing Geeks, come on, bring your friends. We'll learn marketing from distant lands. Andros Sturgeon and Justin Womack. The fun will never end. It's Marketing Geeks.
Marketing Geeks.